Thinking about buying a home this year?
Stop. Don't buy a home until you hear this.
Seriously, one conversation could save you thousands of dollars.
Today, we're sitting down with a mortgage expert to uncover what most home buyers never hear before they start the process.
The insider knowledge, the hidden opportunities, and the strategies that could make a bigger difference than you think.
If owning a home is on your vision board this year, you won't want to miss this conversation.
This is Crown Confidential Podcast.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Here we go again. And now we have our special guest. Thank you so much, Diane, to being here today, to be joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you here in our podcast. And can you introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. Thank you, Sully and Kathy, for having me. It's a pleasure for me to be here on your podcast. So my name is Diane Apolo. I work currently at Quick Quote Mortgage. It is a mortgage broker, and we lend in Florida, Virginia, Texas, Georgia, Michigan, and
Wow, that's
Yes.
so many. And I have a question. When you mention all those states, that means that you work in all those states? Because we're realtors, so real estate agent, right? So we work only in Florida, with licenses only for Florida. When you say the other state, you also work with the other state? You have licenses for each state?
So I am licensed in Florida, but my mortgage broker is licensed on the different states.
Oh, okay.
So let me tell you a little bit of myself. So my banking and financial career started back on 1991, several years ago. I worked in Ecuador at the Banco de Pichincha, which is the largest bank in Ecuador. So I started as a personal banker, and over the years, I worked my way up, becoming a branch manager. Through my financial career and banking, I have helped, and I discovered that what I enjoy the most is helping people and consumers and clients be able to reach their financial goal.
Okay.
Now, these days, I am privileged that I can help and guide my clients through the mortgage process, understand their options, and at the end, be able that they achieve the homeownership dream.
Okay, you're from Ecuador, and what brought you all the way to Orlando? I mean, Tampa, really. You're in Tampa
That's right.
from Ecuador.
So in reality, I born here in the United States. So I grew up there and my family came over here. So we decided to move back to the United States. And then when I got here, I worked for a financial institution, almost the same as over there. So my life is being on the banking and financial. I have a background of I got my degree on engineer business administration with a minor in marketing.
You study here.
No, I study over there in
Over
Ecuador.
there.
Yes.
So you study in Ecuador, and then you brought your career to here to America.
Yes. So like you said, since 1991,
Wow.
I've been on the banking.
Mm-hmm.
That's don't count the years because
Right.
it's too many years.
Right.
So yes, my soul and everything, what I enjoy the most is being there. Being helping when I was in banking, opening accounts, but it's not just opening an account, is knowing the purpose and understand what is the client's needs and what is their goal. So if somebody was saving the money in the back then, it's saying what type of account it was, but today is how we can help, how we
Exactly.
can build that stability, help them to create wealth and invest on their future. I have several clients that start really young age. I have the youngest at 21, and really it's understand. They said it's my forever home. No, there is not your forever home. Your first home, you had to buy it with an investor eyes. And I explain this all the time on how the second, the third, and the fourth house, how you can buy it again and start building. Those young people, couples that are starting so young, when they will retire, whenever that time comes, I don't think in retirement. I enjoy what I do. So until my last day, I guess I will be doing mortgages. So it is like, understand, how am I going to build wealth? The money in the bank is not going to do anything.
Tell me a little bit about that transition, because you went to college for one thing and then you became a loan officer. That's, a little bit different. And then what brought you to that career change? And also, how did you become a loan officer? Because I know that's a career that is not mainstream. It's not out there like other careers.
So I want to say business administration is how to do businesses, right?
Mhm.
And the marketing, we have to know and how to tell our clients what we do. So, like I said, since I graduated pretty much high school, I've been in the banking and I was doing the same thing. And every time I learn and I get more passion about it, helping people, like I said, achieve their financial goals or being able to become a homeowner.
Mhm.
So it is kind of hand by hand, the business administration,
Okay.
because I've been
Right.
banking all my
Belongs to
life.
that one.
I have not changed. So becoming for here in the United States as a loan officer, as soon as I got here, I got a job on a small financial institution and I was doing personal loans and mortgages. So it like I never left the
Okay.
banking, and then I switched jobs and I went to another bank here in the United States to work, and then I just went to another finance institution
Just like
until I become a
me.
mortgage broker, get my license, because I knew that really what I want to focus is help this, is build wealth. And how we can build wealth is through real estate. There is no other investments better than real estate. And it's not because I'm doing this, it is because it has been proof through the years that people that really has been able to grow financially is through real estate.
And you see it every day. You see it with your clients, you see it with the investors that keep coming back to you and purchasing more properties. So I know when you say it, it's just the reality of our business.
And Diana, you mentioned also that you have a career back on in your country, right? And then what makes you decided to come back? It happened exactly with me. I finished my career in Peru. I studied international business, and you did too. But it was a big change for me and my family, especially. Did you finish your career here? Now you're going to another place to start over again. I mean, it might happen to you too. How did you did that transition? Like your parents, you finish your career over there, and now you come here starting. How did you do that?
So it was not a big impact on me because I knew what I wanted to do. Probably the hardest thing, I want to be honest, is the language.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
I see.
same.
Yeah,
Everybody goes through that.
Yeah.
because in Ecuador, South America, we only speak Spanish.
Mhm.
So here is the English, but we have to learn every day. And that is the willingness and keep learning every day and trying to improve myself and helping others.
Okay, okay. And
Perfect.
you're a loan officer, and most people are not very familiar with that career. I think more people are familiar with realtors and what we do. Can you explain to us a little bit about the process from getting qualified with a loan officer until like the closing? Just a little bit so they can really grasp what your role is in the whole transaction.
So it is very important this. So when anybody contacts you, a client saying, I want to buy a house, either be a primary, second home, or an investment property, the main goal for you before you take them to see a house, of course, it is, are you
Yes.
pre-approved?
Exactly.
And what
That's my
exactly
first
means?
question.
And what exactly means? Because there are two things in here, is being pre-qualified and pre-approved. They are similar, but not exactly.
Mhm.
You as a real estate agent, you want to have somebody that is pre-approved,
Right.
ready to go, that we have as a loan officers, we have review everything. And we can give you the certainty that we're going to
All the
close.
documents. We want pay stubs, W-2s,
So
1099,
you are
everything.
literally the person who provide us all the documentations in order us to go and start showing houses, right?
Not exactly. I will give
Mhm.
you a letter of pre-approval,
Mm-hmm.
letting you know that John, Maria, whoever it is ready to go. And what are the terms? So you say, hey, Diane, we have XYZ client that is looking to buy, but is not pre-approved. We need to start there. So where we start is having a conversation and guide them and listen. I like to listen. Listen to the client. What is their situation? There are not two clients, never, that have the same situation. They can be two W-2s and kind of have the same type of job, but they are not the same. So the main thing it is listen, have a conversation, and start the process of the application. They will fill out application, we'll review credit, we'll review documentations. I don't give pre-qualifications. I don't because I want to give that certainty to my real estate partners.
And that's what I like when you tell me the client is pre-approved, I know for sure that I can go out and show them houses because we're going to close at the end. As realtors, we work so hard and we're driving, sometimes we're showing 5, 6
The
houses.
time.
And we have to make sure that the person is pre-qualified, that they're pre-approved, that all the documentations have been viewed. So we're not wasting our time or their time and getting their hopes up.
That is correct. Yes, I want to give certainty.
Yes.
We know, and when you're presented an offer, I'm calling in the listing agent. That way, they know that we have reviewed absolutely everything. I'm saying if they have variable income, whatever income the borrower has, the buyer, we have reviewed that. And we're going to give that. So once we go through the whole process, verification of employment, reviewing taxes, whatever the client has, I will reach out to the real estate partner and I'll say, client is ready to go for this amount. And this is what I have used as an insurance, taxes as an estimate. If any event, any of these numbers changes, say that taxes I calculated 4,800 and they are 5,600, and if the budget was tight, we maybe have to tweak the numbers. They have to bring more money. And there is a little things. That's why communication. And after they are pre-approved, I do a mortgage consultation. That way I go over number by number. What is your payment? What is your down payment? Do you feel comfortable? But while the first conversation, which I missed, is to say, what is the payment that you're looking for? It's not how much I am approved for. It is what is the payment that you feel comfortable with. So there are clients that they could qualify for $500,000, but they want a payment of $2,000. So the $500,000 house is not going to put you in a payment of $2,000. For XY reason, they don't want to pay more. So even though my pre-approval can go, let's say as high as a 500, I'm going to say the 500 is going to be X monthly payment. But to reach out to your $2,000 payment is going to be this much. That way they can understand, because at the beginning they say, I had a client recently say, I don't want to pay more than 1,500. I said, oh, that is going to be tough.
That's going to be tough in this economy, the rates, the houses.
But I said, of course, my intention is to help and to visualize. The second conversation through while they were gathering documentations, I said, okay, with the 15, maybe we will be at this much, but I know you can qualify for more. And I know you can pay for more if that is the case. But there are clients that are under fixed income and there sometimes is less. So it is not to say you don't qualify in case they are not. It is to give them a path or how they can become a homeowners. So it goes through all. The mortgage consultation is the most important thing. And I said, after my mortgage consultation, much more questions are going to come. And I want you to text me, to call me, or we set up another time to talk. Because when they go to the closing table, they're going to say, yes, Diane told me this, Sully told me this, or Kathy told me this, and there's clarity. There are no surprises. I don't like surprises at the beginning or at the end. And this is one of my first phrases that I say. So I like the clients to tell me in reality what they have been going through, what is their experiences, and how we can overcome any uncertainty that they have.
And how long it take you to qualify a client? Like, is it take a lot of time? For us, as a real estate agents, we've been looking for all the time, what is the best house? But for you, in order you do brokers and loan officer, how long is it take?
Every client and every pre-approval is different.
Okay.
Especially how fast they give you the documents, right?
There you go.
All right.
So, yeah. It really depends. I had clients and real estate partners say, hey, Diane, can you give me an idea? Yes, on a verbal information, I can give you an idea. I just had a client that fill out an application and they put X dollar amount here, here, here. And I say, yeah, based on this, you qualify. But guess what? When I review the tax returns, they are independent and their income is completely different. So what happened when I do immediately without documentations, that feeling that you told me that I qualify for this much and now you're this much lower, it creates a little bit of friction in there, and we don't want that. So it really depends on how quickly the clients are willing to provide the documentation. So when we're talking about variable income and so many type of incomes, there requires a little bit more of details like the verification. Like I said, I like to give certainty to my real estate partners. Can I do it like in 24 hours? Yes, I could. There are clients that they fill out an application. I just had a client that was somebody said, Diane, I want you to take care of this because they fill out an application that they got the pre-approval. But there was nobody in contact with them. It was an internet thing and they got the pre-approval and they were excited. I am pre-approved. I didn't have to provide documentation. But what is the certainty that will give you solely if you get that letter?
No, no, not all. Next.
Yes, and that is the way that I feel this real estate partner said,
Mhm.
Diane, no, even though in the letter it looks pretty amazing, but when I start talking to the client, they notice the difference, the human touch.
Yes, and that's very important because, like you mentioned, the communication is key in real estate, especially for the on the lender side, because sometimes people have goals, so they're actually in the middle of purchasing another property or purchasing a car. So imagine you're just filling out an application and you're not telling the loan officer all this information. They're never gonna guess that unless you put it out there. So it's super important for that communication to be open and for the buyers to be honest with us and tell us our goals, because you can do that. You know, you can do all those things, but it has to be planned out and it has to go through the right channels so we can help the buyer achieve their goals.
Absolutely. I just had a file that we already closed this transaction a couple of weeks ago, but our client put an offer on a property that already had an FHA. So the FHA has a case number and that case number follows the property, do not follow the client. So this was with XY lender. They couldn't perform even though they thought that was the other buyer was pre-approved and ready to go. This family, the seller of this property, was moving out of state. So this was pretty stressful because everything that they had arranged to move out, it didn't work out. And they were buying a property in a different state. So it was pretty stressful. When I called the listing agent, they said, "What is the certain?" I said, "No worries. We will be fine." So actually, my buyer at the beginning, initial underwriting, we didn't have no income conditions, which is a big plus. We only have appraisal, title, and insurance, which is almost nothing. And what happened is the other lender who was holding that FHA case number took a while to transfer to us. It was creating stress to the sellers, but I was even normally I don't talk to sellers. But I want to say I had the privilege to talk to them and give them that certainty that we are doing what we do. We close, and just for the seller to be able to talk to somebody and be responsive and picking up the phone for every text message. They said they already lost $10,000 the first time
Oh, wow.
rearranging. And the day that I said we're ready to go ahead and close, and we were ready 2 weeks before. So that was such a relief. I had husband and wife sellers. I'm not talking about my buyer. My buyer was excited too, but this pressure that the seller had with the previous transaction that was not us and it was not our buyer. But when I called in and say we're ready, so no worries, we're good to go 2 weeks before, I heard them almost crying.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yes.
I will call that joy of tears.
Yes.
And that is something that fulfill me so much because it's saying that I'm helping my buyer to become a homeowner, and the other ones are able to move without stress, with a smooth transaction. That is what I'm looking for, that I'm looking for my clients, how they are going to feel confident. And
Right.
that is exactly what you want as a real estate
Mhm.
agent, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. And that's how we met, because I had a listing, right? So I was representing the seller and Diane was representing the buyer. So usually, you know, those type of transaction, there's not a lot of communication from the lender to me, and she like communicated every step of the way, which I thought was like, this is amazing, because usually it's me calling and finding out, pulling teeth, like what's going on. And not only that, but you were able to close almost 9 days before we had scheduled. So of course everybody was super happy. And the way that you just handle the transaction, I'm like, I need her on my team. And
And here
usually
we are.
that doesn't happen. That, you know, because that
You're chasing the
yeah,
other
I'm,
people all the
I'm
time.
chasing
Yes,
the
that's what
lender.
happened.
Where's the appraisal? When are we doing this? What's going on? And she's actually giving me the information. So I'm
Yes.
like, Diane, that's it. You're my girl.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So it is
Mhm.
important. Communication is the key. Is the
Mm-hmm.
key for every transaction. For my clients that are the borrowers, the buyers, but also for the other side. I want to give you that peace of mind.
Absolutely. And peace of mind is what we need because it is stressful enough. You
Mm-hmm.
have somebody that's moving out, the seller's moving out, the buyer's coming in, and you don't know what's going on in their lives, right? They're literally pulling up with a truck and putting all this stuff. They're
Mhm.
moving sometimes from county or from state. They're getting their kids out of school to move them to another school. So they have enough going on. They don't need a stressful transaction. And that's one of the things that people need to understand. That's why we work with professionals that have the experience, that value communication, because it is stressful enough. We don't need to add more to the stress. Like when you said those people cry, trust me, I know, because sometimes you hear crazy stories that, oh, this bank, they ask for everything and still nothing happened, and they're like battered children, right? Like they come in with all this trauma and they have to trust us that we are going to do the right job and that we're actually going to close and we're going to get to the closing table and everything is going to work out. And then they're like, no, I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm like, yes, trust us. We got this.
Yes, yes. And that is what we try to do is build trust.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know, the clients normally come to the real estate partner first, and the trust is on you first,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and then it comes to us. And it's really whatever we can accomplish, it is a team effort. I would
Mm-hmm.
not take for granted it's just a loan officer. I said it's a team.
Team.
And a team, it comes the listing agent, it comes the seller, it comes everyone because it's a willingness to work together when the home inspection, if something is not right there, is the willing from the other side to be able to help to get to the closing table
Mm-hmm.
and us working together. There is nothing better for a smooth and easy transactions. Let's talk, let's collaborate, and let's get to the finish line.
Correct.
And I know that you're a loan officer, but you're also a mortgage broker. And tell me the difference between a mortgage broker and a direct lender. Just make it a little bit easy to understand.
This is going to be super easy.
Okay.
So a direct lender, let's call, and I don't want to put names on
Mm.
banks, but let's going to say bank A, B, and Z
Mhm.
for now. And we as a mortgage broker. So if somebody said, I bank with a bank, and they said they want to go and try there. They apply through bank A, but bank A, for some reason, they said no. What happened? They will have to go to bank B. They will have to pull credit again, and they will have to give documentation again. They said, unfortunately, or the terms were not favorable. So they said, let's go and try to bank C. And they can keep going. So every time they have to bring again the folder with all their documents and pull again every time that you visit another bank, another credit union, whatever the case is. With a mortgage broker, we work with several lenders with a traditional lending and non-traditional lending. So when we review credit, we review it once.
Mhm.
I want to say 99.9%. My lenders will use my own credit report. So guess what? It's going to be only one time that we review credit. And we are going to look which lender is going to be able to give the favorable terms to the buyer. We're kind of shopping around. Who doesn't like to shop?
Yes.
I love to shop.
And we need that because we want to compare the rates, right? We want to compare terms for our clients so
That's
they
correct.
get the best deal.
So basically, a broker mortgage has like all the banks in one, right? And you can just qualify for in one transaction to all of them to see which one is the best fit for the client.
Yeah,
correct?
it's not like you qualify through all the banks. We look at it which lender or financial institution is
Okay,
giving
okay.
the best terms. So we
Mhm.
don't go through 30 or 40 lenders. We look at it which one will fit because each case is different. So maybe through our banks, instead of 30, 5 will say yes. So we want to see from those 5 who are the best. So the best thing it is really in reality is to work with a mortgage broker.
Mhm.
That
I
way
agree.
you don't have to pull your credit through different banks. And we have options. If for some reason something happened with this first lender, we have options so we move. You will not even notice it. If you are self-employed borrower, where self-employed borrowers have and use a strategy in reference of taxes, right? And of course, everybody could use those strategies for taxes. And sometimes their income on the tax returns are not too high, even though they make quite a bit of money. So they are alternative programs that we are not required to see tax returns. So we can look at it, the deposits that they have in bank statements, a profit and loss statement, a 1099. There's too many options that I suggest any self-employed do not disqualify. I had clients say, oh, my CPA, my tax professional put me too many expenses. I had to wait for another year or 2 years. It is not true. You can qualify right now. The terms will be a little bit different, but every case is different. So I like to invite my self-employed borrowers to come. Let's meet and let's talk about it. What is your financial process? How did you file your taxes? And we can find this strategy for qualify you now to become a homeowner.
That's great. And I agree with you. I always go with a mortgage broker because with my experience, you already know, hey, like you said, if something happens, we can put them in another lender. We don't have to wait. We don't have to start the whole process again. And also, they're less conservative. So we have more options. So I definitely agree with that.
With that one. So I want to ask you the last question. What's the most rewarding part of helping someone closing a home?
What is the most rewarding is helping and seeing them that they build wealth that they have invested on themselves. Just think about it. When we go and leave our money on a savings account, on a money market, it will grow, but not with the same speed as in the real estate. And of course, real estate has their waves too. But at the end, real estate will always go up and you will win. We have a client that she every 2 years, no lie, every 2 years, she goes and sell her house. And every single time she has received a profit. So the most rewarding is helping, guiding my clients to become a homeowner, to invest in themselves and create wealth. Like I mentioned to you, my young couples, and it's not just the young, it's we can start our age.
Yes.
And especially when
Anybody.
they start a new life after they get all the process that we went through, they get finally their dreams home and everything. But the most important thing that we're learning, and I think is like that communication, the trust, the communication, and the time. So that is the most important thing in this transaction when we're in the real estate world. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
being
Diane.
here.
We
Thank you
appreciate
very
your
much.
time.
Already, I appreciate you,
Do you
ladies.
have any social media we can share with
Yes.
our followers?
I do.
Or if people over there they want to listen you or call you, do you have any phone number they can
Yes.
communicate with you?
So anyone can call me. My cell phone number, it is 813-334-2117. And I would love to help you to become a homeowner, invest in yourself, create wealth, and we can make a plan. If it is not today, it will be tomorrow. Your credit doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to have 20% down payment. We have strategies to help you become a homeowner.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you
you.
so much, Diane. That was awesome to have you today here, and we can't wait to see you in the next episodes.
See you next Thursday.
And this is Club Confidential Podcast.